book 1. Not verse 4, chapter 4. No, wait a minute. First book of Adam and Eve, chapter 2, verse 4. What am I thinking about? Chapter 2, verse 4. And it says, and because at that time they were filled with the grace of a bright nature, and they had not hearts turned towards earthly things. Therefore had God pity on them, and when he saw them fallen before the gate of the garden, he sent his word unto Father Adam and Eve, and raised them from their fallen state.
Where you at again?
This is first book of Adam and Eve, chapter
So both
4.
the names in there?
Mm-hmm. So that was just saying that they had a bright nature. And then I'm going to go to chapter 4, verses 8.
Chapter 4.
No, I'm sorry, I was just at chapter 2. Now I'm going to chapter 4. And I'm going to do 1 through 9, I guess. Chapter 4. It said, but Adam and Eve wept for having come out of the garden, their first abode. And indeed, when Adam looked at his flesh that was altered, he wept bitterly. He and Eve, over what they had done. And they walked and went gently down into the cave of treasures. And as they came to it, Adam wept over himself and said to Eve, look at this cave that is to be our prison in this world and a place of punishment. What is it compared with the garden? What is its narrowness compared with the space of the other? What is this rock by the side of those groves? What is the gloom of this cavern compared with the light of the garden? What is the overhanging ledge of rock shelter us compared with the mercy of the Lord that overshadowed us? What is the soil of this cave compared with the garden land, this earth strewed with stones, and that plain with delicious fruit trees? And Adam said to Eve, look at thine eyes, and at mine, which afore beheld angels in heaven praising, and they too without ceasing. But now we do not see as we did. Our eyes have become of flesh. They cannot see in like manner as they saw before. So basically, they lost their bright nature. Apparently, they used to shine. It's more in here that speaks on that, but I didn't know time was so short.
What chapter you in again?
This is chapter 4.
Okay.
And I just ended off at verse 9. Chapter 4, 1 through 9. But they could no longer see in the heavens, so their form changed. So is there anything in the Bible that backs that up? Let's look at Matthew chapter 5.
Matthew chapter 5.
Yeah.
So their eyes changed once they ate that fruit, huh?
Yeah.
Everything changed.
Yeah, everything changed. And Lord willing, next time we're gonna see their diet also change, and we're gonna see what God already has put in there to restore. Okay, so Matthew chapter 5. Starting at verse 14. See, you want to read that? 14 through 16.
Ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick, and it giveth light unto all that are in the house. Let your light so shine before men, that they may see your good works, and glorify your Father which is in heaven.
So that light might be something. Our glorified bodies might be light, because it does say. Well, let's see. Let's go to John chapter 1.
John chapter
1 verse 5. And the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not.
1.
And he's talking about in the beginning when he created. And when he created, basically, remember, Choshek was the darkness.
All right.
And that light shined in darkness. Let's also go to John chapter 9. I got a lot of stuff here. We're not
So
going to.
Adam started crying. His flesh had changed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And as they came to it, Adam cried over himself and said to Eve, look at this.
Oh, it's in there too?
It's not in, it's somewhere else.
Okay.
But it was compared with the garden. What is this now?
So John
What is this rock?
John chapter 9, verse 5. And this is Jesus saying, as long as I'm in the world, I'm the light of the world. And we already discussed that. Let's see what if the Bible talks about man's face shining as the sun and as the stars and stuff. Daniel chapter 12. Well, you know what? Since we're in the New Testament, go to Matthew 13. Somebody want to read Matthew 13:43?
Then shall the righteous shine forth as the sun in the kingdom of their Father. Who hath ears to hear, let them hear.
So I used to think that was figuratively. Now I'm thinking it might be more literal. You know? Yeah, he said we're gonna shine. This is our that's apparently our glorified body. Let's go to the Old Testament. Well, you know what? Since we're still in the New Testament, go back to John. Go back to John again. John chapter 3. See, you want to read that one?
John chapter 3.
Chapter 3, verse 2.
The same came to Jesus by night and said unto him, Rabbi, we know that thou art a teacher from God, for no man can do these.
I'm sorry. I meant 1 John.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
The gospel.
Yeah, I was. First John 3:2.
You go ahead and read it.
Okay. 1 John 3:2, and it says, Beloved, now are we the sons of God, and it doth not yet appear what we shall be, but we know that when he shall appear, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is.
And you said this is 1 John?
1 John
What
chapter 3,
Okay.
verse 2.
Beloved, now we are the sons of God, and do not yet appear what shall be. But we know that when he shall appear, we shall be like him.
So
As
he made us in
is.
his likeness, right?
So we're going to see him then?
We're going to see
We're going
him.
to be able to see him?
Yep, because Adam couldn't see him no more. Remember, he was seeing in the heavens. He was seeing angels. He don't say he saw God. And then it says, we shall be like him. We know the Bible talk about how God is a light. You know, he shines.
Right.
And it says, we shall be like him. So he made us in his likeness.
Mm-hmm.
So that might be saying we going to shine. So let's go to Daniel and let's see if that's really what he's saying. Daniel chapter 12. Man, I didn't know time passing this fast, dude. Oh, man. And we ain't even got to the conclusion yet. We ain't really got... Oh, man.
This is Daniel chapter 5.
Daniel 12, verse 3.
Oh, that's the last chapter. You said 3?
And they that be wise shall shine as brightness of the firmament, and they that turn many to righteousness as the stars be forever and ever.
So
Any
does that mean we
righteousness.
really gonna shine? Does that mean we really gonna have light? Or is that just a figure of speech?
Is it a parable?
Yeah, what y'all think? Because he's talking about, matter of fact, let's go up before that to verse 2. Well, actually, let's start since it's short. Let's start at verse 1. He's talking about at the end and what's going to happen. It says, "And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book of life."
Well, life ain't. You put that in there. It's just
Written in the book. Okay.
adding to it.
Yeah. "And many of them that sleep in the dust." Now we know that sleep, it means dead, but Jesus said God is not the God of the dead. So he's the God of the living. So if what we just read in Esdras, second Esdras is right, they're asleep in their chambers, but their spirit is with God. And we know that's right too, because in Revelation they talk about how his spirit's under the altar up there, and he asking God, how long before you avenge our deaths on the inhabitants of the earth, right? But we got to get to the point to where the resurrection, the bodies come out the ground. So your body is not going to be separate from your spirit. They got to come back together. And what about your soul? Because Paul said it's 3 parts.
What if you got cremated?
That's why the Bible tell you don't burn your body.
So,
I don't know about what you
that
got.
is.
I don't know. I got to find it, but we
Look
might
up
not
on
have
the album.
time. We might not have time, man. I want to
Go ahead.
Okay, so it says, written in the book, this is chapter 12 in Daniel, verse 2 now. "And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake." They would sleep in the dust. In other words, they were dead. Their body was dead.
It was in the dust. It was in the ground.
"Shall awake, some to everlasting life."
Some, not all.
Right. "And some to shame and everlasting contempt." So we know that all bodies coming out the ground. Even in Revelation, they say the ocean going to give up those that's in it, and death and hell going to give up all that's in it.
Is space gonna give up theirs?
Ain't nobody up there yet, but if they up there, yes, he's giving it up too. And it's saying, "They that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament."
So hold on. So even those who have perished at sea, who have been consumed by the inhabitants of the sea.
It's coming out. The ones that the piranhas ate, that the sharks and whales ate,
Yeah.
they coming back.
What's coming back though? What's left?
Man, they gonna find the bone, gonna be searching for each other. Reassemble and come on up. It's interesting, man. Sound like a movie, Stephen King or
That's
somebody.
interesting.
Yeah.
Because even at that, right? You have those people who've been not intentionally cremated.